Good, happy Friday evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Friday evening, so let's begin. First up, Texas judge appoints attorneys for pair in connection to case of slain New Hampshire couple. Adam Williams and Amanda Novar face felony theft charges in case. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Ray Brewer.
Let's get your pre-baby body the nutrients it needs with the first prenatal gummy with a good source of choline.
Adam Williams was first to appear before Judge Jack Pulcher. Williams charged with felony theft for allegedly stealing a pickup truck and trailer belonging to Jim and Michelle Butler from Rumney. The Butlers' bodies were found October 28th in shallow graves on Padre Island in Texas, where they had been camping. The judge found that because Williams has no income, he is eligible for a court-appointed lawyer. That lawyer then telling the judge he planned to ask for several orders, including a gag order on the prosecution and law enforcement and the removal of cameras from the courtroom. The defense arguing the cameras could put Williams' right to a fair trial at risk. As Williams left the courtroom with his lawyers to study the charges, his girlfriend was brought in. Amanda Novar faces a similar charge of felony theft. She also told the judge she has no income, and an attorney was appointed for her. During both her hearing and Williams, there was no mention of the Butlers nor any possible connection with the homicides. Both Williams and Novar are being held on $1 million bond apiece. Once Williams' attorneys file his motions, prosecutors will have 3 days to respond. In the studio, Ray Brewer, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Yang files for New Hampshire primary, predicts strong finish based on his new vision for the country. Entrepreneur promotes $1,000 a month freedom divided. When Andrew Yang filed his candidacy for the first-in-the-nation presidential primary on Friday morning, the filing fee had a certain ring to it for him. It's very fitting. It's a $1,000 check, the entrepreneur turned presidential candidate told Secretary of State Bill Gardner. Biden, filing for New Hampshire primary, says he'd get things done as president while adhering to principles. Former vice president says Bloomberg welcome to run. Former Vice President Joe Biden filed for the New Hampshire primary Friday afternoon, making his case for being able to get things done as president, and he welcomed former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg likely entrance into the race. Police say icy roads contribute to a crash on I-89 in Enfield. Driver suffered minor injuries, police say. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Now, a man is recovering after the box truck he was driving flipped over. Police say the truck drove off the roadway on 89 South in Enfield this morning during rainy and icy conditions. They say 50-year-old Roy Alchidiak was pinned under the driver's seat. He was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. The bread that was inside that truck spilled into the median, as you can see in that picture.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. How to help the 2019 Spirit of Giving Toy Drive. Donate unwrapped toys, money, December 6th to the 8th. Online wish lists available to help donors. Spirit of Giving Toy Drive, December 6th to the 8th, 2019. Drop-off locations in Manchester and Newington. New this year, online wish list to assist donors in shopping for items of need. The 2019 Spirit of Giving Toy Drive kicks off on Friday, December 6th and runs until Sunday, December 8th. We are collecting thousands of toys for children in need this holiday season. Toy drop-off locations. Toy Drive event centers are at the Walmart Supercenter on Gould Street in Manchester, the Crossings in Newington, and all Planet Fitness locations in New Hampshire. New this year, an online wish list has been created to make it easier for online shoppers to make a donation to our Spirit of Giving Toy Drive. Event times. At the Manchester location, Friday from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., Saturday 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sunday 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Newington location, Friday 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., Saturday 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sunday 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Other locations. You can also drop off new unwrapped toys at any Planet Fitness locations in New Hampshire. View a list of Planet Fitness locations right here in New Hampshire. The need. This year, the need is greater than ever before, with a lot of agencies asking for more toys. Most in need. Let's take a look at those. Most in need. Infants 0 to 2, blocks, toddler ride-on toys, learning games, tube toys. Boys 10 to 13. Boys 13 and plus. Girls 10 to 13 and girls 13 to plus. Money is also accepted for a form of donation. And social media hashtagging. And the partners for the toy drive this year. And we will be sure to share this article with you on the Riley King Network Facebook page, and when it gets closer to the event, we will share it with you as well. Buffalo Wild Wings manager killed in cleaning chemical accident identified. Fire chief calls it an accident. Let's take a listen to that video from WCVB Boston.
We are here to discuss Jesse's online time. 30 minutes. 1 hour with the tablet, and my client will walk the dog. Do the dishes. 1 hour with the tablet, the dog will do the dishes, and we got a deal.
Control your family's online time with Xfinity XFi.
Let's talk about getting our ears pierced.
Switch today.
Antoinette, cleaning crews are here now. OSHA is expected later on today, but this restaurant will remain closed after the death of the general manager.
At first, I thought it was just a dishwasher. Somebody just poured some chemicals out, then it just got stronger and stronger.
The employees just, they kind of scattered, and everyone else was just standing around looking like, what are we doing? Is everything okay?
Patrons and employees at Buffalo Wild Wings in Burlington would soon find out everything was not okay At about 5:30 p.m., there was some sort of strong chemical reaction with a cleaning agent used near the kitchen floor. What firefighters say was the product Super 8, or sodium hypochlorite.
One of the employees, I don't know who he was, came over and immediately opened all the garage doors on the other side of the building to try to air it out to help with that.
The general manager sprung into action after his worker was cleaning the floor and smelled a noxious odor, and that GM was the one who died. A young man in his early 30s who leaves behind a wife and infant son. A source telling us that he had been only running the restaurant for a few months. After a few hours, hazmat crews determined levels at the restaurant had dropped to a safe point to be inside. But it will not reopen today as grief counselors are brought in. A source says that surveillance video they have from inside will also be reviewed by investigators. The interim fire chief said 8 other Buffalo Wild Wings employees went to hospitals, as did 2 patrons. All were treated and are expected to be okay. What actually happened inside is still not clear.
These aren't trained chemical response people, right? Like, they're store managers at a Buffalo Wild Wings, right? Something happened in the kitchen, was an accident, right? They didn't know how to respond to it. They did the best they could. I'm not blaming these guys for anything that happened.
And we're told a corporate team from the Buffalo Wild Wings headquarters in the Midwest is going to be flying in later on today and is expected to address the media. We're live in Burlington. Josh Brigadier, WCVB News Center.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And our thoughts and prayers go to the people that were affected last night at that Buffalo Wild Wings restaurant. And now let's take a look at your U.S. stock market and see how your U.S. stock market closed for this Friday evening. And here's a look at that U.S. stock market for all of you. Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in the green, went up. Your Nasdaq closed in the green and went up. S&P 500 closed in the green and went up. Gold closed in the red and went down. Oil closed in the green and went up. U.S. 10-year closed in the green and went up. Euro/USD closed in the red and went down. And VIX closed in the red and went down. S&P 500 inches higher to another record close, capping 5th straight weekly gain. The major stocks average rose slightly on Friday, notching fresh record closings as Wall Street capped off a week in which trade optimism sparked a massive rotation out of the bonds and into equities. Ivanka Trump breaks with her dad on whistleblower identity. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
The impeachment battle is heating up. Overnight, Democrats issuing a subpoena for the president's chief of staff, Mick Mulvaney, calling on him to testify today. And breaking right now, Ivanka Trump speaking out in a new interview with the Associated Press, talking impeachment, and the whistleblower, Terry Moran, is there on Capitol Hill with more on all of this. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, Cecilia. As you know, Ivanka Trump is sometimes seen as a moderating influence on her father, but don't let that polished demeanor fool you. She is a fierce defender of this president, and in this interview with the Associated Press, she just brushes off this impeachment inquiry as the latest of many partisan attacks. This morning, the first daughter is defending her father against the accusations at the heart of the impeachment inquiry, calling it the latest effort to threaten his presidency.
Basically, since the election, this has been the experience that our administration and our family has been having. The interest in overturning the results of the 2016 election and removing him from office.
Ivanka Trump sitting down for an interview with the Associated Press overnight while on a White House-sponsored trip to Morocco and talking about the whistleblower.
At the end of the day, I don't view the whistleblower as it shouldn't be a substantive part of the conversation, because this is a third party who was not privy to the call and did not have firsthand information.
All this comes as we're learning more about the case the Democrats are building against the president. House Democrats released transcripts of the closed-door testimony of another key witness. George Kent, a career diplomat whose portfolio includes Ukraine, said in his testimony that the president wanted nothing less than for the Ukrainian president to go to the microphones and say investigations, Biden and Clinton. Next week, Kent will return to Capitol Hill. He'll join William Taylor, a top diplomat in Ukraine, in the first of the televised impeachment hearings set to begin Wednesday.
We are very much looking forward to these witnesses next week raising their right hands, going under oath, and telling the American people about this shakedown scheme.
So Ivanka Trump, in that interview, repeated what's become the White House line of defense. Read the transcript, she said, of that phone call between President Trump and the president of Ukraine. But Democrats say these witnesses are revealing that the phone call was the tip of an iceberg of pressure and maneuvering to get Ukraine to go after Donald Trump's political rivals. Cecilia?
And a number of witnesses in sync on that. Okay, Terry.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that is it for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all enjoyed watching, and have a wonderful Friday night, everyone. And I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. Good night, and bye, everyone.